other shit. I was like, fucking might as well.
Yo, I think we were actually smart because we just bought the new bed. So I think we bought
New sheets?
2 sets because
If you did,
it was brand new.
Just take the old ones off, put the new ones on.
Exactly.
And then just wash the other ones when you get back.
Because I love the idea of coming home to fresh, clean sheets.
Yeah, dude.
That's such a good idea.
Fresh, clean sheets in a clean room.
I know that's part of it. I got to clean my house. Like I want to make sure that I have like nothing that no trash in the trash can, none of that. So that
yeah,
2 days.
I just my trash right now too.
But we could talk more about this here as we get going. So what do you guys say? Should we just let it rip?
Let's just get it, dude.
All right.
Crash early tonight.
I love it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. We're going to engage our camera and say, "This is a Shedtime Podcast." Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime Podcast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Shedtime Podcast. And it is a fantastic day. I got to tell you, I got to fire the producer over here. He totally missed the air horn. Yeah. Better late than never. But that's 2 less bones for you. You understand?
Well, that was the problem, dude, is he was rolling one.
Yeah, man, it's easy to get distracted, I know. A lot of hectic things going on as we've all been preparing to go travel. And, as you guys heard in the open, a lot of things on our minds. And part of what's been on my mind, and we talked about this before, is the fact that my plants are in flower, and I'm going to be away for a couple of days while my plants are in flower. And I did mention that I was buying a drip system. And it's now been a week, 2 weeks, something like that, of running it. 2 weeks now. Dude, game changer. One of the best investments in my grow operation ever. This right here is the kit. I don't know how well camera can pick it up because they're printing black on black, but super simple, y'all. It simply has a pump, runs to these little drip spikes. The drip spikes can go right into the soil in your pots. Comes with a timer already, so that way you can set up a schedule and turns your pump on, and you're good to go. Turns it off, all set. I'm running 5-gallon batches and having to remix my newt water every 3-4 days.
It's not bad.
Yeah, perfect for a trip like this where I'll be able to make sure I top off my newts before we leave.
Yeah, just give it a nice fill up, check them, before you bounce.
That's it. And I mean, right now I just switched them this week. So like, we're not seeing any signs yet. Like just the littlest, like those little, what do you call it? Like the little piece that just kind of opens at the bud site. That's all we've got so far. You can see where the bud's gonna form.
Drinking though, dude.
Yeah, I know. I've literally pushed the watering schedule until it just starts to flood out the bottom.
Yep.
So we're right there.
Dude. That way you got full saturation.
Yep. And that was a challenge in and of itself because mathematically speaking, I have 8 drip lines and 3 plants. So you either overwatered 2 out of the 3 or something. So I ended up having to just take 2 drip lines and run them right directly back into the bucket.
I was going to say, like, that's how I like it. I like the idea of that.
I mean, I figured...
Dude, just run it back into the bucket.
That's it.
You don't even have to worry. Like, I'm assuming that it lasts a couple days, though. Like,
like I said, 3-4 days easily.
Okay.
And I haven't filled the bucket, like, to the top. I've done, like... because I have a gallon jug that I use to fill that bucket with so I can mix my nutrients correctly. And I only ever usually use 3 or 4 jugs. So I haven't pushed all the way to the 5-gallon mark on this bucket. But I would imagine you could potentially, depending on your watering, your soil amount, you could probably go 5 to 7 days on a full bucket, depending on your watering and soil amount.
It might not be a bad idea to test it since you're going to be leaving, just, as an extra precaution. Take it to 100%. 5 and then see where it's at when you get back.
I'm going to put it all the way as I can.
You'll at least be good for where it's at, but if you give it all the way up to that extra little bit, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Just as a safety.
100%. It's been cool. And the nice thing too is that this is totally been a game changer for humidity control. Because let's face it, right? You have to open the tent while you're watering, which is depleting the humidity.
The climate stays, it doesn't get tampered with as much, so you're not losing any of that. You're not losing any of the oxygen or the carbon dioxide that's circling around in there. You know what I mean? Dude, if you pump some CO2 in that thing too, bro, and it's keeping it shut with them fucking drippers, bro, you're going to be surprised with the growth that you can get.
Oh, I could only imagine. I mean, right now it's in its own isolated room. Finally ran all my vents and everything. So like now my venting runs across the ceiling and out the window. So like that's all good to go. And the other dope thing,
the wall.
The other dope thing that I have been gassed to show you guys is this. I have encountered the greatest piece of curing tech. This is a completely digital vacuum curing container that monitors the temperature and humidity inside my container.
Does it like tell you, or do you just have to know like when you should burp it and shit?
So it will, as the vacuum dissipates inside, it will revac itself. And then as far as when it comes time to burp it, all you got to do is break your vacuum by holding your button. And it just released the vacuum and now, boom. And I mean, like,
that's pretty sick.
That is a pretty solid matrix of holes for your vacuum.
Wow, that's cool. How much does something like that cost?
This is a 2-liter, by the way, a 2-liter container, which could easily fit 3 to 4 ounces.
Yeah, I was going to say like a QP could fit in that shit.
Yeah. And this was like $60, $70 maybe?
Really?
If I remember correctly.
Okay.
I wonder if they make mini ones.
They do.
Like,
they do. They're like $40, $50. And they'll fit like an ounce.
One, dude.
I totally want one when they're back in stock. And
even just one like that, because then what you could even do is just take your shit that you do have in jars or bags or whatever and just toss the bags and jars into that thing and just fucking vacuum seal it, and then you're still good.
But like, I love that. Like, not super noisy. I'm not sure how much the mic is picking up the vacuum sound.
It's picking it up
a little bit. You get a little vibrations, but it's not intense.
Almost sounds like a cheap.
Sounds like one of those Theragun massagers.
Yeah, I think both of those are great similes for what the sound level of this is. Like, it's not obnoxious. Charges by USB-C, so that's super convenient to keep it charged. And just like I said, the simple fact that it's monitoring your humidity and your temperature inside, so you can see it come up and go, oh, okay, I need to open it and let some of that humidity out. And, yeah. Plus, they, of course, ship with their own little bloom packs like a Bovita. So that's dope. And they're smart enough to even think about labels. So you can keep track of what's inside.
This is OG Kush, whatever.
Speaking of getting something inside, cool. I'm about to get this peach OZ rosin up in me. Cheers, boys.
Yes. I love the sound of that. I've been ripping on that super buff cherry because it's not super boof.
I like, Sean, that you have that container though, and like I do really like the fact that it's got a digital readout and like all that stuff. Like that really simplifies shit.
Shout out to
like if you had to like open it up and like burp it and be like, oh well, what was the fucking humidity in here? Like, dude, like that's like, I'm not saying it's not possible. Clearly, that's how people did it for fucking decades and decades. But for someone like myself, that like, I'm probably gonna forget. Like, I'll think about it and I'll be like in bed. I ain't getting out of bed to fucking go do that. So like, I'll probably forget. So if it can do a lot of that stuff like automatically, it's kind of perfect.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is it's like
perfect.
You have to keep the jars open for a little while, really let some air in. It's not like you're just opening the jars and like letting them sit for a minute. Like you got to give them a good 10, 15 minutes to breathe. So like
air it out, shake it up a little bit.
Shake it up a little. Exactly.
A little bit of movement, because all that stuff on the inside is going to contain that moisture. So you want to make sure stuff on the outside that gets drier faster mixes in, and it pull and even out the moisture content.
So like that's what I think makes something like this genius, is that the curing process being a science and it being something that is slightly like mystifying to the newer growers, right? Like this puts the data back in your hand so that like where you're sitting, so you can make an informed decision when to burp. And like I said, the simple fact, like it vacuum seals it with a legitimate vacuum. This isn't like those, the ones you can buy at the smoke shop where you just press a button a couple of times and then it vacuum seals. Like this, I trust. I use a vacuum sealer in my kitchen all the time to cook. Like I feel like this has my vacuum sealer pump inside it, just pumping the air out of this can. Dig that.
Well, plus you could just see all the numbers too, right? So like if you have like a certain number criteria, or like, you've done the research, or even just from past experiences, like if you were to fucking write shit down, like as you go along, I can do that kind of stuff, like a little bit of note taking, no problem. I mean, I've taken notes like tons, like doing e-liquid mixing. So like I'm comfortable with like going through shit, writing down notes, and then going forward, and then going back to those notes. Yeah. So like if I found that, oh man, this weed ended up so good, and like I cured it so good, like I could just refer those notes.
But have you ever note taken so good, dude? Like you've been really note taking,
Oh, dude, to the max, bro.
Dude, it's just the way that you said it, bro.
If you can take note of how good your note taking is, that's a good note.
That's how you unlock like true bliss, right there. But no, like for real though. I mean, like I am definitely one of those people. I might forget how I even did it. So that's why, like, I knew when I started to like mix e-liquids, I had to take down notes because I would fucking forget. I'll think about like a million different things other than what I'm supposed to be thinking about. So if I have the notes, at least then, dude, I have like a very good memory when it's prompted. Do you know what I mean? Like if you ask me about something that happened and you give me that tiniest little bit of information, my brain, I can like go and like find it. But if you're asking me to find what I'm thinking about without giving me any information, you'd be like, oh, what was that again? I'd be like, I have no idea. None. But if you said, oh, you're talking about this, then I'll be like, that's right. Okay, yeah, here we go. And like that's kind of the way that it would go for me with like the weed shit too. Like if I learned that one time I cured shit really well, unless I had that written down, I'm probably not gonna remember how I fucking achieved those numbers. I'm not gonna remember how I got there. Like,
I'm pretty sure some of that's just ADHD.
That's just like not how my brain's wired. So like I need those prompts. I need those cues. I need that extra info to allow me to fucking actually, access that information. I think stinks sometimes.
I think note taking and growing weed just need to go hand in hand, because like that was one of my mistakes in the first grow was like I couldn't remember, when did I even start growing this weed? How long has it been in veg? What was the date when I switched it to flower? Has it already been 6 weeks? Has it been 8 weeks? like keeping the notes of this shit is so key. So that way you know. Like, I did that a little bit in this one, and I intended to go even deeper because now there's things that I've learned where I'm like, shit, I wish I had notated these thoughts, you know? When was the date that I topped it? When was the date that I, did that one little default? Like, that way you can see, like, oh, when I topped it, it totally stunted growth for a week, but then this happened.
Now you guys are making me want to put a list together and write down all the things that I've already packed for my trip and things that I still need to pack.
Oh, dude, I already know that I'm forgetting shit, but I know that like before I ever go, because like even if I made a list, I'd forget to write shit on that list. So
well,
like,
the thing is, it's like I really don't know what I need to bring because other than just clothes.
you need to bring
something
clothes,
to vape.
money, vape shit. That's probably it. Other than like your regular stuff, like your wallet.
Yeah, like all that stuff's pretty much packed.
Cell phone charger, whatever.
Some deodorant, toothpaste,
all that stuff's.
And like, dude, theoretically, you don't even need a charger, really. Like, everybody's gonna have a charger. You have an iPhone.
I need one for my watch.
iPhone. Oh yeah, I don't know how that works. Can you do it? Does that? I've never actually dabbled in any of the smartwatches. I assume that they have fucking ones that you could just lay on a fucking wireless charger, right?
Yeah, but
they have wireless charging?
it's got to be like a little cup thing because like the bottom of the Apple Watch has got like a little cup that here's a charger for an Apple Watch. I have one like, oh shit, why is it got to be plugged in all the way back? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Is it like a hook?
No,
right, I'll give you 2 seconds.
It's like a flat charger, like but it's got like a bevel to it. Yeah,
But if you look, it's like cup shaped.
So do you like, put where does the watch go on that?
Sits right here on this magnetizes. Hold on, let me grab my watch.
Yeah. So basically, behind on the back of his watch is a little shape like this, and that's what's sitting in the divot.
That little black piece right there.
Yeah.
It goes boop, and it magnetizes to the back of it.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot.
I'm going to bring my charger because I got this dope new charger that also not only has a watch charger on it, but the piece that my phone magnetizes to charge slides out and it's a power bank.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is dope.
So I'm just going to bring that with me and just put the charger in my bag and then just put the power bank in my backpack.
See, again, we're talking about this, and now I'm realizing, where did my watch charging cable go? Because mine's different, because with mine, I just have two tiny little contacts here at the bottom, because mine's just an off-brand smartwatch. So, like, I just have these two little contacts that magnetize, and I'm going to need to charge this definitely before I leave for this trip, and I don't know where it is right now.
I will say this, though, dudes. I definitely have a problem when it comes to Dixon's, bro. Because I was like, oh, well, shit. How long am I going to be there? I'm going to be there for a total of 8 days. Because I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm coming back the following Wednesday. But, of course, the first day, probably not going to wear a Dixon because I'm going to be flying. That's just one more layer. I don't want to have to take it off if it's hot on the plane. I'm already going to be wearing a jacket, yada, yada, yada. So I was like, cool. Well, that means I need one for at least Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday. So that's 6 Dixons, dude. And I had to figure out, of course, which ones am I going to bring? So I fucking went through. I was like, well, I don't want to bring a bunch of the same colors. And then I was like, well, I wear that one a lot. Which one don't I wear that much? And then, dude, I went through and like fucking finally found them. And dude, that's a majority of what is in my duffel bag, bro. It's just Dixons. It takes up majority of the space. Because I was afraid to fold them up all small. So I folded them up all real nice to make sure the pockets and shit didn't get all fucked up or nothing. It's ridiculous, bro. And then I just thought about it. I was like, well, shit, now what happens if I can't put anything in that bag. So it's like, I can't put my hoodie in there. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I was like, well, shit, hats, bro. I need something to put on my head. What am I going to put on my head? And I'm like, fuck. All right, well, I'll bring a couple beanies. Fucking easy, dude. Real easy to pack. Just fucking stuff them in the bottom of the backpack. No big deal. And I was like, but I do need at least one, maybe two, just hats, just to wear just in case it's not super cold. And I just want something on my head. And I was like, well, fuck, now what hats do I bring and how many of those do I bring? Because, so many things match so many colors and yada, yada.
Yep. I'm hearing this. I'm glad that I'm keeping it super simple, straight backpack life.
3 hats. I think I've got 3 hats, 3 or 4 hats.
Yep.
Luckily, I'm just sticking to 1 pair of shoes.
I definitely.
Just because I like to look good, man. That's my problem, Sean.
Well, I'm going to be there for a couple of days, man. I don't need much.
And the problem is too, is like the only time I get to wear these shirts and like my nice clothes is when I am not working and I go out for something. So it's like, fuck, well, I'm going to wear one every fucking day then. Because it's my excuse to fucking wear one every fucking day.
I honestly, I understand that because having worked at like the dispensary as an example, where I had to wear specific, like just the weed shirts all the time. I was like, dude, I have so many normal shirts I fucking want to wear and I have no opportunity to wear them because I don't work a job that will let me. So I get it. Or like the fucking working in the auto shops where we had uniforms, UniFirst, fucking those kind of things. Everybody's in a union style jumpsuit.
Yeah, the only opportunity I ever get to wear my Dixons are on green rooms. Sometimes I'll put one on for this, but today I'm in the rush, so didn't feel like putting one on. Or it's sorry, I'm like super far away. Or it's when I like go out to go do something on my off time, which isn't all that often. It's usually just a quick run to the dispensary, so I'll throw a Dixon on just to look sick walking up in the dispensary.
Bro,
I wore my green room one there, bro. That was fucking dope. I got so many compliments.
Speaking of off time, I want to send a hello from Canadian Bacon.
Who's Canadian Bacon?
Oh yeah, how's he doing? You saw
the homie Matt that I brought to NVE 5 years ago now.
I think it was like 6
I forgot you called him Canadian. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his nickname in our work chat back in the day. Yeah. We all had these dumb nicknames. I was DJ Dreads,
dude.
But yeah, I was
well, man.
I was just kicking it with him this weekend. And he's doing well. Honestly, the thing that blows my mind, like I'm gonna glow up a homie who has zero relevance to any kind of like social media communities or anything, but I'm just proud of a homie. This is a dude that like when we met, we were unloading trucks at Target, and now homeboy has eventually moved on from that. He worked for me in the vape shop, and then after the vape shop, he wound up in construction photography as a career.
What?
Yeah, bro. And it's so cool because he loves it and he's fucking good at it, bro.
No, but no, what is construction photography?
So it's exactly what it sounds like. He goes to construction zones and construction sites, and his company is contracted to photograph the work sites. And this can be for a variety of reasons, either for the company's marketing materials, for their inspectionary needs. Maybe they're building an office here in Boston, but the main office is in Seattle. So they're having his company come in and photograph the work progress to make sure that things are moving along at a rate they want. But beyond that, it also extends to things like LiDAR. So like one of his jobs is this dude will fly drones in these buildings and map them with this LiDAR 360 degrees so that they can go back and create like 3-dimensional maps for their customers of the building.
Huh.
Yeah, dude. Like, he's actually in the process of getting his drone operator's license, which will make him an FAA registered drone pilot.
That's interesting.
Damn, making moves.
That's like something that like makes sense that it exists, but I didn't know existed.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I actually have a friend. This guy, like I went to high school, and I rarely ever saw him even before I moved here, but I've saw him recently enough to know that he literally gets paid, and like he gets paid, I think, pretty good, and he drives like remote control cars through sewers.
That's sick. That's so dope.
That's what he actually does. So like if there's like, I guess like a blockage or like reports of like flow rates lessening or something like that, I guess he just like goes there and like drives a remote control fucking, it's not like saying it's a remote control car is obviously quite light. It's like, I think a little bit more elaborate than just a remote control car. But yeah, he drives, whatever it's called, he drives this thing, I guess, to find blockages or to like find certain like ways that it is to double check in case like maybe their layout was wrong, whatever. I have no idea. But yeah, dude, that's like what he does. So like you saying that he flies a drone, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. But
yeah, dude.
Then I remembered when my friend told me that that's what he was doing. I was like, it's fucking insane, dude. Like you literally get paid to fucking, like, that's your job. Like I appreciate it's like anything, you know, at some level it's still work because you have to be somewhere, but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, like that's the cool shit, right? It's like I never would have thought that companies existed that did that.
Like, dude, even just the photography of the, like, even that is like, I would have not thought that there was a company that, you know, did those kinds of things, and that's who you call.
And what's cool is that, like, he's winning contests for the photos that he's taking, and that's why I can say 100%, like, he's showing me some of his winners, and they are really frigging good. Like, he showed me one. There's a construction site he went to that they were demoing the interior of a church and converting it into an apartment building, but trying to keep as much of the fact that it was a church before intact, if that makes sense. So like removing walls, but making sure that like those crazy church vaulted ceilings and stuff like that were still intact. And like they're going to leave the entire exterior intact and then just build straight up off this church like a skyscraper.
That's pretty sick.
And so like
pretty cool.
He actually won one of these contests because he's got this gorgeous photo of everything inside torn down.
What that makes me think of, dude, it just reminds me of the opposite of gargoyles, because gargoyles is like giant skyscraper with this old ancient castle on top. But
yeah, this is like an old
ancient church with a skyscraper coming out of the top. Anyhow,
I love the idea though of like keeping the facade of a historic building and then repurposing it.
Or even the interior too, like getting like an old firehouse and renovating that into like your crib. That'd be sick.
There's
that'd be crazy, dude.
Two examples
in your house.
Yeah, there's two examples of that here in Plymouth. Actually,
I just think Ghostbusters for some reason.
Yeah, I instantly thought of Ghostbusters also. I'm not going to.
It's on my mind because there's a new one out, and I kind of want to see it.
How new is it?
Just recently.
Yeah,
like the last 2-3 years. It's got Paul Rudd in it.
It's the newest one with Paul Rudd, but it's got a cameos from the past.
Everybody. No, I actually watched it. They even did like an Egon. They had like it was almost like the Obi-Wan kind of fucking hologram.
Well, spoilers, but hey.
Well, you just said everybody comes back.
Well, yeah, but like I didn't know about that part.
Oh,
Because I knew
that
he-
actor
I knew he
actually
wasn't going to be
passed
back
away.
because I knew that part.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. No, honestly, for real. I was just like, he's been dead for a bit, so I thought that you might have known that.
No, it's cool because they did that kind of in the one before this. So
I didn't see the one before this, so I'll have to watch that.
so spoilers.
We're even.
Even Stevens, dude. Anywho, dude.
So you
Okay,
spoil all the movies. Doesn't work for me. Ha!
I know this isn't gonna line up necessarily with whenever the Shedheads are gonna listen to this, but can I just say how fucking excited I am for the Steel Valley meetup right now?
Yeah.
I'd literally leave tomorrow morning. Because of course we're recording this beforehand. But dude.
Dude, in like 48 hours from now, I'll be at Sean's. Hopefully,
crazy, bro.
Optimistically, like I might be. No, I should actually. No, it should be pretty close.
Yeah, it's kind of realistic.
I'm hoping that I can be out of here by 10:30, which is 10:30 my time, which is actually 9:30 your time. And it says it's like 10 hours and 2 minutes.
Dude, in like 72 hours and probably some change. The three of us, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking Mexican food and fucking mango margs.
This is the thing that like the listeners may understand, because a lot of them are actual friends of ours who hang out in some of the same social groups. But some of you guys who maybe don't know us that intimately, it's been 5 or 6 years since the three of us have been in the same place together. We have been able to hang out individually, as in Chris and James and Chris and myself, but not the three of us. So this is like monumental.
Yeah, dude. Because Sean and I live on opposite ends of the fucking country, and then Chris is able to at least pop down sometimes for me.
I used to be more central. I was like further west than Sean, but
yeah, now you're further east than me.
Yeah, I'm east of everybody now, man. Yeah. Honestly, I bet you that I drive pretty far west to get to Sean.
Yeah, you do. I mean, just the simple fact, think of it from the driving time. You're spending that 10 hours just to get from where you are in Canada to get to me in Massachusetts, which, again, is a pretty far enough east state in our country.
Yeah, like I just start here and I just like do like one of these. And then I'm like down to you. Because I feel like you actually are like, it cuts in by the time it gets to you. And then it's starting to jut out for like, I guess maybe Plymouth Rock. But it's like the coastline is further east, right? Than like Boston would be, where you're at.
Well, Boston is on the coast, but like where I am in Plymouth is further east on the coastline. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
So I have to do like this, like kind of like a little bit of a loop to let.
That's the way. That's the thing
to
is,
get to you.
I think if I remember correctly, the route you end up taking brings you on an east-west interstate, and then you have to hop off and go from that interchange to get to where I am. I've traveled that road many a time, and we will travel it some more on our way to Ohio, because we got to take that Route 495 to get out of Massachusetts, it looks like, and head into, what is it? Looks like it goes New York, then down. I think that's how that route takes us, New York, and then we go down. We're going to go through Poughkeepsie, New York, and then cruise our rest of our way into good old Philadelphia, and then finally Ohio.
I don't think they will go towards Philadelphia. You think so?
No, we won't.
But I was going to say, if you need to stop by, grab Michelle on the way. But dude, I just know I'm super excited because I'm starting to get the travel jitters already. You know what I mean? Where I'm starting to get like slightly anxious and kind of uneasy, but also like super stoked and pumped about it at the same time. So I know it's just because I know tomorrow's travel day. And even though like I've traveled by myself and flown on planes multiple times in the past and nothing's ever happened, for some reason I still I'm like super edgy and on my toes. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Except for the fact that I've got to be up at like 3, almost 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty far east compared to you, like really.
Oh yeah.
Like being all the way over there. So I have to drive pretty far east and then I start to head south.
Dude, it's about 5. I'd say about half your drive is just east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now it's saying that
east
it's
of the
10 hours
US.
and 54 minutes, but it says winter storm warning. The other night when I checked, it was like 10 o'clock at night, and it said 10 hours and 4 minutes.
Well, that's because we have a nor'easter coming through this way. And like, so my region's going to get just rain, but like Maine, which you'll have to go through in that trek, is going to get just utterly tattered. It's going to be rough again.
Yeah.
But that's the
I'm
life
through
in Maine.
I'm honestly in Maine a lot.
Yeah.
Like the minute I cross the border, I'm in Maine for hours, bro.
It's a big state.
Hours.
The interesting thing about the state of Maine too, right, is that like the closer to the border of Canada you get in Maine, the more Canadian Maine becomes.
Like it feels like that. Is that what you mean?
Like the fact that once you get that far north in Maine, you no longer get a lot of American programming. You end up picking up Canadian television, Canadian radio. Like there are towns
in Canada. You get a lot of like American stations, and so I guess it kind of goes both ways.
That's very true.
I've experienced that. Maybe it's like more different for some people, right? That's like, oh, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like Maine is a very how do I explain this? In my experiences, Maine is still a very country style state. You know, a lot of it's woods.
There's
it's
a lot
mountains.
of Greenland for sure.
Yeah, it's woods, it's mountains. It's a different way of life out there. It's
actually got some pretty like scenic spots, even just on the drive. Like when you're like really far east, like after you cross the border, because when you cross the border from New Brunswick into Maine, like it's a fucking line, right? So like on one side, it's going to be pretty much the exact same as the other side. So when you're coming towards the border of Maine, it's like starts to get like really quite hilly, and like there'll be like elevated highways where like you're looking down over like a valley that's maybe like 300 feet down, and like it's just like lots of fucking hills. Like my old car, I already know I could have just like set it at like 70 miles per hour, or I think it maybe 65, because I think the speed limit's 55. So maybe like 64 miles an hour. I could have just held 6th gear on cruise control and it would have just pulled through like all the hills. The car that I have now, it can't do it. Like I was fucking just kept it would like go all the way down to like 50, and then it'd be like 45, and I'd be like, well, gonna have to drop down to 4th gear now and fucking get speeding back up this fucking hill. So
I feel your pain.
Yeah, like when that's actually it's rare. But it's because the speed limit there is 50 or 55. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to report back if I remember. But it's like not quite fast enough for that car to hold the RPMs where it can like pick up the hills and maintain that speed. That's like the problem. It's like the car just needs a little bit more gusto, or I have to just like roll in 5th gear all the time.
Yup. The Saab was,
and it's long, dude. That's for hours, Sean.
the Saab was like a little powerhouse. It was light, it was fast, it had the turbo, so it was such a powerhouse that like hills, things like that, it devoured them. Now I drive a Ford Taurus. Yeah, it's a brick.
Yeah, but it's probably like a beast. It probably has like, 220, 230 horsepower. So it's probably got like plenty of power.
It's a V6. It'll pull down a goddamn house if I need to, but I'll tell you what, getting up to highway speed can be a bit of a slower rate.
Oh yeah. But once you're up there, it'll hold it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I feel you. I understand what you mean.
Oh my god. The thing is
I've
driving
had
me
some
crazy.
big old slow cars, but that's not even probably like that slow. It's just probably slow compared to like
That's it. I'm so used to my tiny fast Saab that like now it's like this is not what I'm used to. But I will say I just drove an old Crown Vic today, like a retired police car Crown Vic, and it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. That thing sounded like a diesel until it fucking got up to like 50. It was that rough.
Dude, I've driven lots of cars that would be like close to that or the equivalent to that. And yeah, man, like none of them were fast, bro. Like none of them were fast. You'd be like getting on it and like you'll get there when you get there.
Well, that's the thing. Like this used to be a fast car until the police department beat the piss out of it.
Dude, it's probably gonna eventually like open up too for you. Like this road trip, I feel like it could possibly be something that's like a positive for your car to just get out and stretch its legs and breathe and like fucking warm up to the temperatures that things actually fully burn off. And like,
shit, I did that to it when I first got it, and it was.
Dude, this is gonna be like fucking 10 hours of driving, bro. Like it's gonna be like bring it on,
I did.
You know,
I did 4 each way during the main trip, and 10 hours is going to be a lot more. I think the thing that I'm noticing now is I'm pretty convinced that brake manufacturers are getting lazy and making brake pads that don't fit as tightly as they used to. Because I was talking about this with somebody, and we've been noticing that with certain cars, and this includes like new cars, there's like this moment where when you stop and then reaccelerate, you almost feel like there's like a drag now, like the brake pad is shifting, and it's literally driving me crazy. And that's the one thing I don't want to deal with during a 10-hour ride, is that driving me crazy. It's like I need to get in there with like a little metal shim just so like it doesn't have this little bit of movement. And it just sits solid.
dude, I'm honestly like really looking forward to driving though. I love driving. And like the place that I'm in when I'm driving and like listening to music is like a very good place for me mentally. And like I need some just like positive mental experience going on. I need that recharge. So like for me, it's just like perfect.
My wife.
Oh, go ahead, John.
My wife plans to crochet this whole trip.
Yeah, Sean. Okay, James, after you, I have to ask Sean a question, but go ahead, please.
Okay. I was just going to say, I'm going to put some headphones in and just probably put on some music and then throw my little neck pillow on, snuggle up against that window and try to just crash out for an hour or two until I get to my layover in Dallas.
Dude, that's crappy that you have to do layovers.
For real, I wish I could just get a one-shot flight, but I probably could if I maybe went out of LAX, but it's just because I fly out of Ontario.
Yeah, who wants to go to LAX if they don't have to?
Yeah, it's half.
Dude, plus I feel like connection flights
drive.
sometimes are good. It's just that it
it
brings
gives you
the
a
risk.
little bit to get out, stretch out your legs a little bit. You know what I mean? As long as you have enough time in between, it's fine.
And as long as the flight's on time and you're not like getting off the plane in a 2.5 hour layover or 1 hour layover is like 8.
I was thinking about spending the extra money to move my seats up a little bit closer so I can get on and get off faster, but I feel like spending an extra, probably like $100 probably would have been.
Yeah, dude, I'll spend the fucking 10 minutes extra every time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're already miserable regardless of if you can get on or off a few, you know?
I did on one seat just so I can get an open space next to me, hopefully.
Never been a fan of flying. Did it a lot when I was a kid. You know, my parents would send me to like family around the country. So like I did it, but
I don't love it, but I don't necessarily really hate it either. It does make me anxious though.
It's like it's a necessary evil, right? Like you got to do it.
Yeah.
So you make the best of it, but
dude, flying solo is completely different than flying with a group, though.
True. That.
Like if you and like 4 or 5 friends are on the same flight and your seats are all around each other, like flying is completely different than you just like going solo and going and sitting in your chair and fucking you're at whatever risk of people around you who like, you know what I mean? All these different things.
I imagine even just having one companion to fly with, just having a homie with you or something.
Like when I've ever traveled, like I've traveled a few times with Danny Castle, and just like having Danny, just me and Danny there, made the trip so much fucking like less stressful. Just because like we had both, you know, like if one of us might have left something, somebody would have been like, "Oh, hey man, you forgot your shit," or somebody would have grabbed it, or
dude, it's anything, right? It's like the time. Where if you need to find the gate fast, like you have 2 people, it's like there's less pressure on just you have to do it. It's all on you.
2 heads are always better than one, fucked. Right? Like,
so I'm for it. I always like found that more fun.
You had a question though, Uncle Chris.
Yo, what's up?
You had a question.
You had a question for Sean.
What were we talking about right before when
we just crocheting in the car?
Yeah, it was something about the car stuff. Because the wife's just
the walkie-talkies. Thank you. See, I will remember things. I just need the prompts. The walkie-talkies. Do you actually have the walkie-talkies?
Oh, thank you for reminding me that I got to go dig them out and get batteries.
Yes.
That's a good call.
There you go. Nice. See?
Yes.
Remember things sometimes.
And see, folks, that's another pro tip right there. If you are going to do a 2-car trip like Chris and I are planning to do like this, having walkie-talkies can be a great idea.
It's actually so funny. Sean will be like, "Oh, hey, I'm just going to have to get up and get some gas here there, partner." And I'll be like, "Okay, cool."
You guys going to have call signs?
I mean... If these were like nice walkie-talkies where other people might hear us, I might be more apt to use call signs.
Who cares if anybody can hear them, dude? Just think about how much more fun it would be.
I think I'm going to just be me and totally forget. I'm like, "Hey, bud, how you doing?" Like, "Oh yeah, sorry, Clyde. This is Rooster here." Because I'm not a tadpole anymore.
I'd be like, is he going to say it? Because like I'm not going to answer this until he says like what my call sign is.
Tell him.
I'll just not respond until you say over.
Like he'll even talk back to you, like he's like, "I'm not gonna say anything until you say over."
I can't. I know I'm stealing this idea from a show, and it was a bit, but I can't remember what it was. If anybody listening and any of the Shedheads out there remember what show did this as a bit, please, for the love of God, drop it in a comment, because I remember this being done as a bit in something, and I can't remember now what the fuck it was. And I would love to go back and watch it now. It feels like a Big Bang Theory kind of a bit, right? Like something that Sheldon would do.
It could be. That definitely could be a thing.
That could be a thing. Could also be a thing that I'm going to have to hit a vape shop.
It's been in a few other things. Oh, well, good thing, hopefully, do you have anything that you buy till Friday, hopefully, or no?
Nope. I'm going to have to go hit one and grab something just to get through the rest of the week, because this ain't going to make it.
Damn.
I will say with the new job, I don't vaping as much, which is nice. Because I actually have to work. I actually have a job that has me do stuff all day. It's kind of nice.
Makes the day go by quick, man.
I'm also like awake a lot. So normally like when you're addicted to doing something, you do it while you're awake. So because I'm awake so much, like I obviously vape more than someone that's sleeping 8 hours every night. Like that's definitely it.
Which is something I hope I can do tonight, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to get some better rest tomorrow for sure.
Oh man, good call. I need to.
Tonight I'm done, but like tomorrow night,
I need to get some ashwagandha in me before this trip. Get some good night's sleep. That's a good call.
I should be in bed
honestly,
pretty early. No, that's it.
What I was gonna say is that honestly, after this, probably what I'm gonna do is set up the old volcano, throw something on the TV for like an hour or so, rip a couple bags, and then call it a night after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no hangs for me in the Discords tonight, but it's all good because the majority of the people that will be there will be at the hangs at Still Valley tomorrow. So
it's gonna be so good.
Chris can tell him what's up for me because I know he's going in for some ukes tonight as usual.
Yeah. Tomorrow night I will not be able to, but tonight, yeah.
Same situation for Chris tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm just a day late.
Let's say it's a domino effect, right? Like James leaves Wednesday, Chris leaves Thursday, then Chris and I leave Friday.
Mm-hmm. And then you leave Sunday.
Yep.
Chris you leave on Monday, Chris?
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go to the hockey game on Sunday, and then I think that I'm going to leave on Monday, yeah.
Okay, so Chris leaves Monday, and then I leave, well, it's not Tuesday, but Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be home back here by Wednesday because I'm going to leave there on Monday and then go be in Toronto for like a night. And then I'll probably either just like drive, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 hours, get a hotel, and then go the rest of the way so I can be home for Wednesday. That's like when I have the dog scheduled to get picked up. I might ask them if I can push it to Thursday so I'm not as rushed, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's the exact reason that I'm leaving on Sunday and not Monday, because I didn't want to feel rushed getting home. We can take our time Sunday. We have Monday off so that we can just chill all day Monday. So like, if we want to take our sweet ass time getting home, we can do that. Not going to be a big deal. We don't have to get up in the morning, and then we can move on. And that being said,
it's just bright pretty late. It's starting to get bright pretty late, John. It's like not like crazy, but I know it's staying bright here till like well past 8 o'clock.
I don't think we're quite at 8 here yet.
Like I don't mean bright, but I mean like it's not. It's like dusk is like 8-ish.
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet here in my area. Although it's been raining for like a week, so who knows? It could be there now, and I just haven't seen the sun in over a week.
The sun needs to come out for you to know.
That's the weird thing, man. Like taking on this new job, like I'm in charge of a bunch of people who are driving for us. So like I have to actually be mindful of that shit. It's like, yeah, all right, weather's gonna be crap these next few days. Like I'm not gonna send you guys to like, the other side of the state to go do a delivery today when it's raining cats and dogs. That can wait, Because like, yeah, right now sunset around here is 7:10. So we're getting there. But yeah, the meetup is near. Like James said, by the time you guys are hearing this, the meetup will have come and gone.
The shed sessions that will be commenced while we're there are going to be fucking epic.
Yeah. With the student glass now.
Dude, we have so many cool accessories to imbibe on while we're there. We got a glacier tube for the volcano, the student glass, the old just whatever else. So the module for that thing.
So, because he's got the student glass, I just want your take. None of us have used them, right? Obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So, what are your thoughts on it as far as a gravity bong is concerned. For the people who are listening who don't know, the student glass is that gravity bong you might have seen on social media that it looks like a giant pill and you just flip it and that's what creates your water vortex to create your gravity bong. Do you think it's a gimmick or do you think it's a cool ass idea?
I think it's honestly pretty sick because I've seen it in use a few times, not only in video, but like I've seen Will use it and it looks like it does what you think it would do. You know what I mean? And just to have that thing to where you're not having to sit there and consistently pull a bottle in and out and, you know, fuck with the bottle cap bowl or any of that. And the fact that you can pretty much hook that thing up to whatever you want. You could put a normal banger on there. You could put a bowl on it. You could
we had Mike on here throwing the Dynavap in it.
There's all kinds of shit you can do with it, dude. So I think it's pretty legit, and we'll get to find out for sure for ourselves this weekend, which would be pretty sweet. I know for sure I'm getting one of those glacier tube things though, dude, when I get back, no doubt. I think I might skip the bubbler one and just get the smaller, just glacier tube version. Because I'm gonna end up running the bag through a bubbler anyway. So what's the point of having the bubbler on the tube when I could just put the bubbler or the cold bag through the, you know?
I'm excited to try this glacier tube because Ryan was like thoroughly impressed when he tried it.
It's pretty slick. I got to use it again this past weekend, and it was pretty nice, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That reminds me. That was the trip to go see the Godzilla flick, Kong, right? Yeah. What were your thoughts? How you feeling?
Dude, honestly, if you like action movies and you like ones that are kind of like this, obviously isn't like your super like serious, like crazy, like scary Godzilla movie. You know what I mean? This is more of an action-packed action thriller King Kong Godzilla movie. There's some cool fucking aspects about it when it came down just to like just overall fight scenes. There was a couple just really just like out there like scenes that were just funny as shit just to me, just because of what they were and what it was that was happening. When you see it, you probably understand a couple of them when you see them. But dude, it was pretty slick getting to see the little team up as well as like some other aspects of the movie that, you know, were kind of teased, but also, you know, I feel like it's worth seeing if you're like, if you go into it just looking to watch some fucking giant creatures fucking fight it out.
Like just, a movie. You know? Like if you're just going in for like,
if you're going in for like crazy story arc and, you know, dialogue.
You're looking in the wrong spot.
Godzilla like, movies aren't supposed to be that.
It's a fucking monster movie. You know what I mean? But I liked it. I thought it was pretty slick. It made me laugh. Some points got me super stoked just because like how things were going down. You know what I mean? Couple of points I was just like, okay, where's this gonna go? But ultimately ended up going the way we thought it would. But it was pretty slick, dude. I liked it.
See, and I was thinking about this the other day because, you know, you had mentioned that you were going to see this movie and like that has to be like one of the longest running, like, can you call Godzilla a franchise? Because it's like, it's not like one person ever owned it at one time. You know what I mean? But like the whole Godzilla movie thing.
It's a universe, dude.
Yeah.
Sure, there's so many people. There's so many movies that fit underneath that. You know what I mean?
Right. Like that's got to be one of like the longest running movie universes.
What made it even better too was just like the overall sound and just like screen experience. Because of course, like I said before, I saw it at the Man's Chinese Theater in LA, you know, the real historic one where they do like all the movie premieres and stuff. Of course, I didn't see it in the big theater where they do like big premieres and stuff, but I saw it in one of their other smaller ones. But even then, it was still fucking huge, dude. Still looked old school shit. The seats are a little bit more modernized and but the sound quality, dude, the Dolby sound quality was fucking insane because it literally was like 360 all the way around you. You could literally hear like the sound moving around you, like while you're in the theater. So like that plus the big ass screen, we had like dead center, height and as far as like in between, left to right to screen. So it's just like perfect placement to where we're not looking up, but we're not looking down. It was, dude, we ended up having an extra seat too, because one of the people that were supposed to go didn't end up making it, but we still had the ticket. So we just fucking set all of our snacks down on the seat. So we just fucking kicked back, you know what I mean? So we didn't have to worry about fucking holding all of our snacks and shit. Dude, it was fucking good. And then after that, of course, you're in Hollywood. You're at the Mount Chinese Theater. You got to go walk around to the front to see the big facade in the front and see like the, of course, the stars and then all the cement imprints in the front from like fucking, dude, 1927, 1920s, all the way up to, modern day, stars and shit like that. And it's like, it's pretty sweet. And then you walk down to the corner and what do you see? A nice little fucking couple easy ups with a taco stand rocking right there. So what do? You get yourself some street tacos. So we got ourselves a couple street tacos. We were walking up and down Hollywood Boulevard, ripping on some Stizzy pens, just getting lit after eating some tacos. Then, of course, just mosey on back for some more bags out the old volcano. And it was a good time, dude. It was a vibe.
So I just had to Google it because I was curious. And turns out I was actually right. Godzilla is recognized by the Guinness World Records as the longest continuously running film franchise, having been in ongoing production since 1954 with several hiatuses of various lengths. The film franchise consists of 38 films, 33 Japanese films produced and distributed by Toho Co-Limited, and 5 American films. Wow.
Yeah, so for all those people that say, do we really need another Spider-Man, another Batman, or another Superman movie? Yeah, because look at how long fucking Godzilla's going, man. It can go on forever if people love it enough.
It's so true. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I just made that as a joke just because I know that's something people say all the time.
But how wild, right? 38 films since 1954.
That's pretty insane, dude.
That's really like incredible.
What's the next one up to that? Fast and Furious?
There's 9, but it wasn't that long of a time frame.
I think there's 10, bro.
Oh yeah, maybe there's Fast 10. Fast
right.
with it.
Next question that we're gonna ask here is we're gonna get the list of the longest running movie franchises. All right, longest movie franchise. 12 longest film series of all time. All right, this might be a good list. Let's see. All right, so according to this list from Collider.com, who I have no idea what level of validity they have, they say Star Wars at number 12. Then Gamera, part of the Shadow of Godzilla, but still classic. Star Trek at number 10. Spider-Man at number 9. The Mummy at number 8.
Okay, that's a solid one.
James Bond, number 7.
Yep,
1962 is when that started.
Yeah, that's still rocking.
Zatoichi. Oh my God. Really? Zatoichi is the blind swordsman and all of those samurai stories. So it's a series that follows a blind masseuse who's also a skilled swordsman in his various adventures in Japan during the first half of the 1800s. 26 films starred Shintaro Katsu, with 2 films made in 2003 and 2010.
So Japanese film?
Yep. Yep.
23
Dude,
films.
I'm gonna go try to look for one of those. That might be super dope.
I struggle with movies with subtitles, full disclosure. An action movie, though, I might be able to deal with that. As long as there's not like mass
Dude, it's
amounts
like
of dialogue.
watching kung fu movies, bro.
The sword I have is actually Zatoichi's sword because it's supposed to be the blind man's walking cane.
Yeah, so it's like a stick that can
And then-
a sword.
Yeah, you unsheath it, and it's not designed to be a slashing like a katana. It's
It's
a sharp
defensive.
point for stabbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting that comes in at number 6. Then we've got number 5, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Looking at it, 33 films in just 15 years.
Okay, yeah, so I guess the fucking Fast and Furious isn't even on the list.
Oh, excuse me. According to this, Godzilla comes in at number 4. At this point, it was at 37 films. So it shows you that this is definitely a slightly dated list. Then we have an anime series, Doraemon, with 42 films.
Okay.
Then another Japanese series, Otaku wa Surai Yo, with 50 films. And then finally, is this another Japanese film? Nope, this one's Chinese. Wang Fai Hung with 123 films.
Damn.
Like for real. Like what?
That's a series. Holy shiza. Wow.
That's crazy though.
That's got me
Wow.
curious for what the longest running TV show is.
That article was actually published at the end of last year, December 2023. So it's actually
pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's fairly
Definitely
up
pretty
to date.
accurate. Yeah.
Like I said, it didn't have the most current Godzilla movie, obviously, but it did
Yeah, it just
count
came
everything
out.
up to that point. So that's wild.
Nutty.
That is really, really wild. Holy smokes. Unbelievable. Who'd have thunk that Godzilla would be on the list?
Dude,
It's
you know what I
probably-
don't understand? Like, why are there so many? Is it just like, how can you imagine being that person? Okay, listen, investors and film studio, I got this idea. Okay. And it's kind of all around Godzilla. Are they just like, I like it? It's a new take on a classic. Like, is that
Well, it's because
literally
they built on it too over time. Like they developed like the fucking other Titans, aka the other monsters. And then they had them fight, other people, and then they got the Kong Godzilla thing going on. You know what I mean?
I think
'Cause
it's
honestly, Godzilla started like the monster movie craze, bro. Because like they saw that going on in China or in Japan, brought that here, made their own version, and then that's when you started seeing like King Kong and like all these other like crazy, monster movies and shit like that. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, realistically thinking about it, you're kind of seeing in this Godzilla versus Kong a perfect example of that, where it's like this is the American giant monster and the Japanese giant monster together in one
Two of
film.
them just came out recently too. Because then you can even go and see the Japanese version of Godzilla, the Godzilla -1 that I hear everybody's also raving about. But it's definitely a different take. It's like the Japanese interpretation of Godzilla. And it's definitely a little bit more geared towards, him as like a, destructive monster creature sort of thing compared to the, the more, Americanized version is I guess the best way you can put it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Hollywood version of like it's like the blockbuster fucking Kong movie or the blockbuster Godzilla movie.
I think
Nonetheless,
the popularity and the continued popularity of stuff like Godzilla and Kong movies and all that, though, I think it just speaks to something like this primal element in all of us, where it's like we just sometimes we just want to see stuff get destroyed. I just want to see the big dinosaur creature smash a city. I think it's just a primal
I just
thing in
want
all of us.
destruction. Give me the destruction. Why? I just want destruction.
Listen, I feel bad for the victims of a car crash, but I do like to see the aftermath.
I
Just
don't
saying.
necessarily sometimes.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a little
But like,
fender
I mean,
bender. It's all right.
it depends. Like, if the car is absolutely destroyed and I know everybody's okay, yeah, I'll check that out. But if it's like, yeah, I'm looking at the fucking death box that this person died in, I'm not like, oh man. I'm not like looking for it, but I will notice it. Like, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Half the time, I don't know when I see those kind of videos whether or not they made it or not, and that's what makes me uneasy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the scary part, right? It's not that I'm worried about how I drive. It's that I'm worried about other drivers.
Yes, dude. It makes me so nervous about other people, dude. And it's just definitely more of a cautious driver, I feel, as of late.
Oh, dude, well, the drive that Sean and I are doing, like, honestly, there'll be like a few moments where there's a bunch of cars, but honestly, bro, it'll be like slightly too early for like a lot of construction. So, like, I feel like it's just going to be like, it'll be a pretty fucking chill drive, bro.
Yo, no,
like,
really, Chris, that's not the part about the driving that worries me. Okay. Highway driving doesn't worry me. It's the town driving, because that's where people are complacent.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, honestly, Sean, the amount of driving that you're going to like probably do once you're there is like low as fuck.
Oh, I get it, and I'm not just saying that honestly, in this
you get
trip
off the highway and you're gonna be there.
I think it's just.
I don't exactly know where Ryan's house is though.
Yeah, like I'm not just saying though, like in this trip. I just mean in general. Like it's not the highway stuff. It's the in town.
True.
Like
sorry.
literally, I'm driving today, driving our chase car, coming back from bringing a driver somewhere to pick up a car, and this he was an elderly old man. Just didn't pay enough attention to the fact that he's literally starting to merge into a police car that's next to him.
Dude, I bet you that's one of those times you wish you could have hit the whoop, whoop.
That's the thing. I do. I wish that it was A, legal to do that, and B, that I had it still installed in that thing so that it could be done. But it's like, you could tell. It's still got the light. It still looks like an old Crown Vic police car. And like, you just didn't even notice. It starts merging into me, and I was like, well, I'm going to just merge into another lane and not get hit by this jerk.
Dude, that's the worst too, because like your first instinct is obviously to merge over, and then you have to make sure that you look like unlike that asshole to make sure you're not merging into the next person. Because there's been so many times where I've seen that happen, and I look, I'm like, fuck, what do I do? And then I either have to fucking gun it real quick, or I got to fucking honk my horn or slam on the brakes and hope to God the guy don't fucking hit me. Anyhow, fucking stupid drivers, dude.
That's the shit that worries me, man. It's like, it's those situations where like people are just, they're complacent because these are the roads they travel all the time, every day.
Well, and they don't. The people are on their phone or not paying attention or doing who knows what.
Yeah. I work around police officers. The amount of police officers I see come driving in with just, cell phone in hand. We have a distracted driving law in my state. That's an offense. You can be fined for that.
Oh, dude, you get demerit points up here for that shit. So like, it's definitely serious. There's like no joke. But I remember, dude, this stat's been around for a really long time. I remember even hearing it when I like first started to drive, and it was that. A majority of accidents are within 5 minutes of people's homes.
Dude, I was going to say that a while back, but I couldn't remember the exact quote.
Yeah, dude, and it's just because, like, once they're within 5 minutes of home, everything's so familiar that they let their guard down and relax.
I literally got into an accident down the street from my house, dude. Like, not even 5 minutes, bro. like I'm like a minute from my
Yep.
house.
Did the same thing. Yep. Stupid ice.
Most accidents
ice
also
sucks.
happen by either tired or distracted drivers too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably like slowly taking over for sure of like all sorts of fucking driving stats.
Dude, driving tired's just as bad as driving drunk, bro.
And in the vein of driving tired, somebody made an interesting point to me that I had never thought about. You know, the old notion that people say when you're feeling tired while you're driving, you should roll down your window, get some, fresh air on your face. A lot of people always assume that this, the cold air coming in the window, and that's what's just waking you up and keeping you awake. And then I caught a doctor talking about how that might actually not always be the case. Because in some people's cases, they're driving, if they don't have their air vents on, drawing fresh air in, and the windows are up, they are slowly accumulating carbon dioxide within the cabin of their vehicle. And that over time, that increased carbon dioxide within the air is not enough to harm you, but it is going to make your body feel sleepy.
Yeah, you'll get drowsy.
And by opening the window and getting fresh air to circulate into your vehicle, you now completely dissipate those carbon dioxide levels, get your oxygen levels back up, and that helps to actually get you back to a more awake and alert state.
Speaking of getting levels back up, I'm going to get my high level back up with the nice last dab of this purple banana, dude.
I think it's a great idea. And I'm going to take a dab with you because we are definitely getting towards the end of this. And I think the good people deserve us to get stupid one last time before we bring them out.
Yeah,
so I still got
high. I'm just high already.
I got so much of this the super boof cherry that isn't super boof at all. That I got to take a little dab of this because it's just so good. And for the people who don't understand what I mean by that, I recently learned from the cultivator that the super boof cherry that they've been selling this whole time is not super boof. It was a typo that made it out of the facility and into production.
How's it spelled? B-U-F?
So it's B-O-O-F, super boof. Boof, B-O-O-F. It's supposed to be super buff, B-U-F-F, cherry.
How'd they fuck up that bad?
I honestly,
it's a 4-letter word and they fucked up 2 letters.
Honestly, aside from the fact that, potheads, I think that really what happened here is one of the parents of this strain is super boof. And I think that's how they fucked it up.
One of the parents of the strain is called Super Boof.
Yeah. So they looked at their label for their seed package and it probably said Super Buff Cherry. And then right underneath it, it said Super Boof X Tropicana Cherry. And when they read it quickly, and they saw Super Boof Cherry, not Super Buff Cherry, because Super Boof was the words directly underneath.
Well, at the end of the day, they're not lying.
And I agree. Is it actually the Super Buff Cherry strain? Absolutely. Is it an offspring of a Super Boof? Absolutely.
Oh, see, for some reason I thought that you were saying that the entire existence of Super Boof was supposed to be called Super Buff. Just the Super Buff Cherry. That's specific.
Yeah, the Super Buff Cherry here in Massachusetts isn't actually Super Boof. It's Super Buff. And that's what cracks me up because that's just one of those amazing stoner moments and also a great example of why you can't always trust what the name of your weed is. It may not actually be the strain that manufacturer is telling you because they could just change the name and be like, yeah, we call this, Drippy Nipples, and it's really just Gorilla Glue number 4. If you call Gorilla Glue 4 Drippy nipples, I'm gonna slap you.
Well, that's just dumb though. Like when I said it, I mean, not to name it that, but it's dumb to just rename it to whatever you want. Like, what is that? I don't even.
People
get
have
that.
done that for years, Chris.
But why?
Because they can.
You can't trademark the name of a weed plant. You can't copyright that.
Oh, but then they'll change it. So
Not only that, but back in the day, people would say something else just so people would buy it, dude.
That's so true. It's so true.
Oh, dude, you got that OG? Yeah, this OG. And it could just be like some fucking skunk weed.
How many people you know always got the kush?
Oh, yeah.
Everything is kush.
Yep. Sapphire Ash Kush. Sometimes, and that
Like,
same
motherfucker,
Kush,
this tastes like berries and cherries.
and every time you come back, that Kush either make you happy, sleepy, energetic, paranoid.
It's like you name it, it's got it.
Yeah.
But at random.
Yeah, because sometimes it got you locked up on the couch and you don't move, and then the next day it got you running around the couch.
Got you picking that shit up, cleaning, looking at your floor like, is that a speck of dirt?
Yep.
Yeah, that. The number of people that used to say that shit to me when I was at the dispensary working, they'd be like, "Yeah, no, I need sativa to clean." What? Yeah, that's how I get everything done in my house. I'll smoke this Durban poison joint and then I'll clean my house.
I know some people that get like that. Man.
What people would say that when they come into the dispensary shop?
Oh, 100%. I had tons of customers that was like, I'm looking for some sativa. I need to do some chores around my house.
Dude, some sativas, bro, for certain people like myself, they'll get you like kind of like you drink like a espresso or like an energy drink, bro.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Adderall for some people.
And that's what also makes me paranoid is because not only does it give you energy and like kind of makes you want to get up and move around and stuff, but also starts making your mind race. And if your mind already does that, ooh, it can get to some dark places real fast, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like to go there.
Yeah,
It's dark in there.
That's why I don't fuck with like sativas really.
Same Z's. Except for if you like give me a blue dream, bro, I'll fuck with the blue dream.
See, that's why I'm glad I started to really like zero in on what those terpene profiles were.
I've kind of figured it out too.
Right.
And not only that, it's moderation. As long as I don't go too crazy, like I can't I can't hit sativas like I hit indicas. That's my whole thing. It's like my tolerance for sativa is way lower. So it's like take that in smaller doses. And not only that, what I'll do majority of the time is if I'm doing a sativa, I'll end up balancing it out with a little bit of an indica or a hybrid. I'll do like a little bit of sativa first, and then right after is usually a hybrid or an indica. You know, just in case. You know what I mean?
See, like I've just kind of found
That way
like
I get the full effect.
If I do like a lamb's bread, I'm good. I can smoke a lamb's bread. That's going to be fine. But that's got a very indica typical profile, right? Heavy in myrcene, but also has a lot of those other terpenes that get you that like more energetic vibe. So it sort of counterbalances. But like that's why like as much as I love those tangy terps, I can't go full in on them. I can do like a Tropicana Punch or a Tropicana Cherry, where it's like a 50-50 of those terps, and I'm okay. But if I go like Purple Tangy, you know, any of the like the Tangy bold families,
Yeah, it's got to be like a cross for me. It can't be like the full thing. Even though I enjoy the way it tastes, if I do too much of it, like you said, Sean, it does get me a little zippy. But dude, just you wait. Hopefully they don't get through it by the time we get there. I'm gonna make sure we save this specific one just because I want you to taste it. And it's a cookie cross, the orange cookies, bro. It's got that orangey taste, but of course with that cookie cross, so it's not gonna be too crazy, dude. It's a diamond, but it's tasty, bro. It's terpy.
well, wait till you try the super buff cherry, because right bro, it's like that Tropicana cherry comes through heavy, so you get that like funky orange note. But I know how much you love your perps, and
that purple banana. There's going to be a little bit of that purple banana out there too.
Look at how purple these nugs. Come on, Focus, get with us.
I wish I could just bring my volcano so we could have two going and just filling up bags and bags and just like everybody like just like have two going around, three going
Dude,
around.
Will's volcano is going to get some work in, that's for sure. I mean, every single time I go, it's that much older.
Dude, you know what I should do?
Put in work.
Is me and him, I'm going to talk to him and see if we get just like a couple, have him get like a new bag set that comes with a bunch of more bags. And then we just sit there in the fucking thing and just fill
Just
up
like roll
a bag
it?
a piece and just like fucking just rip through the thing and everybody just get a bag. You know what I mean? And then the rotation will be who gets the first bag out of the bowl. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I can't be like hitting 3 bags to my face. That's too much for me.
Well, no, then whoever taps out. But I'm just saying, if you want to stick through it,
I'll be the one get like the number 3 hit, you know, the 3rd bag.
So this is
I'll
what
be like,
we'll have the lightweights will get the first fresh bags. And then as it goes around, us heavyweights will stick in, and so we get a nice fresh bag.
Yeah, you'll get a fresh bag later.
Or what we'll do is we'll just do one of them dumbass fucking long bags. But what we're going to have to do with that is someone's going to have to hold the volcano while we fill the bag up, because we're going to have to let it go the entire length of the fucking, or 3 meters worth at least. There's going to be so many shenanigans going down. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
We're going to be so ridiculous. We're going to eat so much good food.
I'm so excited to actually try the Ohio Valley pizza, because I've heard
it's so interesting.
I've heard everybody's.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's interesting.
It's all right.
That's my description.
Yeah, like
it's so
right.
interesting.
It's fine.
I've heard everybody's takes on it, from Will being like it's the greatest to like you guys like
I am with pizza, Sean, which I kind of think you are. It's all right. It's fine.
So here's the thing, like, I like a grandma style pizza, and this is a take on a grandma style pizza.
But dude, it's real thick.
Yeah,
the sauce, of course it's cooked, but the cheese ain't as melty as you expect.
And that's the thing.
It's just warmed.
and that's the thing. Like the weird thing about a grandma style,
I'd like a little bit of some pepperoni on there, man.
Yes. Will always like tries to just order cheese. That's the right way to do it.
I'm going to tell him this time, bro. Get me some fucking pepperoni, bro. Get me one with pepperoni on it. Just so I can actually enjoy a little bit of it. You know what I mean? Actually get some enjoyment out of this pizza other than just eating it for nourishment.
I do think that the crust is really good. It's like
it's not like don't get me wrong,
light
like
and fluffy, but it's crispy.
Yeah, it's like soft and it's got like a nice like bake on the outside. You know what I mean? To where it's not like super crazy floppy, but you're definitely not going to want to eat it. Like, I would definitely eat over a plate.
Yeah, you can just like grab a square and like hold it by the edge, and it has enough support even without the crust. Like if it's like a middle piece kind of vibe, even that will still like it's thick enough.
Yeah, everything I've learned, it's a grandma style Detroit.
I'm just more excited about wings.
Yes,
Mango margaritas.
Yeah, dude, I don't even remember what I got at that restaurant last September, but
the Mexican spot.
Yeah,
did you get
I
some
just remember
sort of burrito?
Like loving the fucking. I was just like loving the hot sauces,
the chips and salsa, bro.
Yeah, the chips, bro.
Yeah, I know this. I never heard much about the entrees. I always heard about the chips, salsa, and the mango margs.
Oh, dude, I go and I get the fucking wet burrito, bro. Fire.
Yeah, I feel like I got something similar to that.
Because, dude, with that one, what they do is instead, like with their wet burrito, instead of covering it in like a red or a green sauce, they'll cover it in fucking their cheese sauce. And then you just order a side of the fucking whatever sauce and put that on top, dude, which is pretty fire.
I mean, I'm hearing this and I'm like, well, I could fuck with some tamales.
Oh, yeah. There's that. They do have, maybe some fajitas.
Them there
Yeah,
fajitas are nice.
Honestly,
Man, that's crazy. I
like
can't
as far
remember.
as Mexican food goes, like I think it's pretty decent. It's not like super spectacular, knock your shoes off, like amazing. Like the salsa for the chips isn't like crazy, like spicy, but it's like it's got some decent flavor to it.
The chips are really good though.
The chips are solid because they're fresh chips, obviously, and they just keep coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mango
They do.
margs are where it's at, though, dude. So fire. We'll get a couple pictures for the table. You know what I mean? Just pouring them
they're
up as
good.
you go.
Pictures of margs.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Living like kings for the weekend.
Dude.
Yeah, big
James,
goblet
we
glasses,
definitely
too,
know
bro.
for real though. We have to get biscuits and gravy from Bob
Oh,
Evans
dude,
while
we're
there.
doing that, bro. What day you want to do it?
Whatever day.
Yeah, it's got to be Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah. We'll do it Saturday morning before the meetup.
Because I know I mentioned
Just
it to the
come swoop me
wife.
up. Come,
and
or
she
wait,
was like-
you're staying at Will's too, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then me and you will just meet up with Sean and Chris because I'm sure nobody. Well, Kevin might want to roll with us.
Yeah, I'm certain fucking Ryan will be down for some breakfast.
Yeah, dude. We'll organize it Friday night for sure, and then Bob Evans it is, dude.
Yes. Straight.
Give me that biscuits and gravy, baby.
I need to eat at a Bob Evans strictly because I've never been to a Bob Evans
the
restaurant,
thing.
but I've eaten their
really?
food.
Let me explain to you this, Sean. It's not anything spectacular. It's just your average, like
Oh, I know.
diner, cafe style thing. you
The
know?
inside of
So-
the place is just like, I don't know. Honestly, dude, it kind of just feels like a country kitchen,
Yeah,
dude. I don't know.
it reminds me of like a Denny's or like an IHOP.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
just a Bob Evans.
I know what the vibe is. Like I said, I've eaten their like prepackaged food that they sell at like the grocery store, like the Bob Evans mashed potatoes.
Yeah. So just
Fire.
imagine that, but better, dude.
You know, so it's like
probably just a little tad bit better, maybe.
it's like the people who eat it like who buy like Cracker Barrel stuff and then go to the Cracker Barrel for real. They're like, oh my god.
I think the last time we went was like around like Thanksgiving time, or I was near one, and you could literally fucking order an entire like turkey dinner, bro.
Hell yeah,
It's like, oh shit, that's
fire.
crazy. Maybe it was there, maybe it was somewhere else. I can't remember, but either way.
And as I'm looking at the clock and I'm seeing that it's time for us to wind it on down, I'm going to bring us to a close and remind you all of this. There is a campaign of people trying to get a Waffle House level in a fighting game, and I'm here for it.
A Waffle
Imagine
House
that.
level of a fighting game.
Yep, so you have to fight at the Waffle House in a fighting game, and I think that's brilliant.
It's actually pretty funny.
Yep. So with that, Chris, take it away.
Well, I mean, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Of course, check out shedtimepodcast.com. Check us out on Frames Ankle Vapors YouTube channel for the Green Room Friday nights. I will say I'm really looking forward to this weekend that we got coming up. And I'm just looking forward for the fucking drive, man. It's going to be so good. And then obviously I'm going to be looking forward to seeing all my friends. That'll be great as well. I don't want to take the shine off that. And then after that, even I'm going to be looping back and do a few things that I feel that are really important to me in the Toronto area. And then I'm going to be heading back home. So it's going to be like a whirlwind trip, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad that I get to do it with a bunch of friends, which is dope. So yeah, hopefully the next recorded episode after this, I'm just going to be like that much more charged than I am right now. And maybe you guys will even notice it. I don't know. I think that it will be everything. So everybody be safe. Have a good week. Live your best life. James, go ahead.
As always, shout out to all the Shedheads for all of you guys' continuous support. We greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Of course, leave those 5-star reviews. If you haven't already, tell your friends, tell your family, all that good stuff. Check out the YouTube channel of Shedtime Studios if you want to get the video aspect of some past episodes. Or if you want to keep more up to date and get early access, check out the Patreon. Of course, I'm super stoked, like Chris said, that you get to hang out with the boys in person for one time. So stay tuned for the Patreon as well, because Sean's going to try to get some exclusive Shedtime Steel Valley Hangs content for you guys. And with that, I'm just looking forward to it. So safe travels to you boys. on your drive out there, and it's just going to be sick, man. So I'm, and as I always do, sending out all those positive vibes, crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them, and of course, a little bag or dab will do you, Sean.
Oh yes, so same for me, guys. Check out all of our stuff on all of our platforms. You've heard us shill it before, and you can go to shedtimepodcast.com if you need to find convenient and easy links to all of them. And yeah, guys, if we saw you at the meetup, big love to you, and can't wait to do it again. And as you can tell, we're gearing up. We're ready to go. So I'm going to bring it to a close and tell you, don't let the best get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun, because this is the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right. Your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Suck, dude.
Yeah, boy.
Ohio, here we come.
I don't know where that came from. It just came out.
Came from the
Pure,
soul.
pure excitement, dude.